Hello, my name is Jelle van der Pol, and before I jump into this video, I'd like to tell you a bit about myself. When I was 9 years old, I moved from the province of Utrecht to Cuba, where I lived for a year. Then afterwards, I moved to Mexico City, where I lived for 4 years. And then when I was about 14, I moved to London, England, where I lived for another 5 years before I moved back to my home country in the Netherlands to pursue my studies. Um, when I was young, I absolutely loved animals. Just, man, that love for animals has never stopped. And that also will be seen back into my art. I also love traveling, anywhere really. I love making music, I love DJing. And yeah, when I was very young, I started already drawing, I started painting, especially my love for animals really was shown in my paintings and my art. Also, when I was quite young, I had my first exhibition at the embassy in the Netherlands. Anyways, when I graduated, I moved back to Utrecht, where I was studying business, but I didn't like that. It wasn't for me. So then I moved to Rotterdam to pursue a study in spatial design, which is my major right now, and I'm absolutely happy here. I just never stopped creating since I've been here. I just always trying out new things, new mediums, always just ready to learn, just very open to new ideas. I like to take a lot of initiative in learning new things, whether it's about stations, whether it's about materials, whether it's learning about other majors and what other people are doing. I just think that it's great that this is just one big creative hub, and I'm absolutely satisfied here. The first project I'd like to mention is the Marconi project, where we were appointed an architect and we had to create a maquette based on their work. This project included a lot of intensive research, a lot of material research. This is me standing next to a huge piece of marble. And yeah, we just had to do a lot of field research, material research, and what kind of materials does the architect use. And yeah, so this also allowed me to improve my sketching. We had a lot of perspective sketching classes, and yeah, just a lot of mock maquettes, which we had to make. I think we made about 6 maquettes before we actually made the final one. This also allowed me to really improve my skills when it came to actually creating maquettes, what materials we'd use, and really how to reference the architect in our project. Next project is the Momo project, where we, as a team, had to create a one-on-one festival, basically like a product that they can be used for the Momo Festival, which is a festival that's once a year in Rotterdam. And this project was great because we actually had the chance to fully collaborate with others. It was really a team effort, from the modeling, from the designs, from the ideas. We really worked so well together as a team. We came up with so many great ideas, and we all had our own skill, which we were successfully able to put into that one final piece that we had to create. And yeah, I was really happy with the outcome of this. We really learned how to communicate with each other, planning, time management, and we really listened to each other. We really took everyone into account. There was no mishaps or none of that. We just all worked so well together. From the light research to the material research to the what do we have to create in order for the people to really make use of it, and something new, something special. So we decided to create a kind of like a one-on-one hub, which is kind of like a little tent, where people could either DJ or do poetry, and that would just be like kind of in a big field. It really contained a lot of calculating, a lot of numbers, and just a lot of geometry as well, which was exciting because we really had the feeling that we were actually creating something from scratch. Yeah, this is us just kind of assembling all the materials that we made. And then yeah, we made a tent that's actually foldable, easily set up basically, and it was absolutely huge. We were really impressed with what we did in the amount of time that we had, and this really made me learn how to properly work in a team, and properly just learn how to communicate with each other and make sure that we were all on the same page at the same time, just doing our job and not trying to disappoint either one of our teammates. just making sure that we had a good final result. So the next project I'd like to mention is the rooftop project. This is one of my favorite projects so far in spatial design because it just really allowed me to be completely creative. We had to redesign a rooftop on top of the shopping mall in south of Rotterdam, and I decided to go for a sort of like huge sustainable biodome, completely calculated with solar panels and water collection, and we also had to create a website and do a lot of referencing to like other projects and other places around the world with the same kind of concepts. We had to read a book and investigate their patterns and just completely do research about every aspect of our project. As we had to do so many different things for the one outcome, time management and just like completely organizational ability was at the utmost importance in this project. But luckily I learned from other projects in the past and just really made sure that I managed my time completely, just very well. I actually finished right on time, and I was very happy with the outcome of this project. So yeah. This is my absolute favorite project. This is the Boathouse project, and this was actually a chance for me to do some real architectural and interior design work. The client wanted this boathouse, which is located by the water in a beautiful place in South Africa called Knysna. And they wanted this boathouse slash kind of like a shed to be transformed into kind of like a kitchen, lounge, with a bathroom and storage space and everything. And this was also a project where I was actually able to work with professionals. Like here you can see me talking to the engineer, and a very well-known established woodworker in the area, so I was able to actually communicate with those people and tell them my ideas, and it was really important that I was able to get my concept and my ideas out as best as I could. And this was really a project where I was actually able to learn what it's like to work in the professional climate and really communicate with both my client and the engineers. Next up, we have the bar/club project. And this project was basically about having an empty space in Rotterdam that we were allowed to choose or find and turn it into either a bar or a club or just like a social space. So I chose this huge 100 square meter empty office space in Rotterdam. And my concept was basically accessibility. So I decided to create a club that was accessible to all sorts of people with all sorts of disabilities, whether it came to blindness, to people in wheelchairs, or deafness. So I was really able to be fully creative and really come up with new things that people really haven't done before, like new components of the club, which I thought was really important, especially here in Rotterdam, because I don't really know any clubs that are fully accessible, like the one that I designed, for example. So I designed like huge glass boxes with like foam elements in it, so like people who are deaf could like see the foam react on the bass. And I decided to create like paths and little hints for like people who are blind to follow, or like make a part of the bar lower so people in wheelchairs could order as well, and like the ramp at a certain degree so that people in wheelchairs could use them. And yeah, I really was able to be fully creative with this. But this didn't stop me, however, from seeking a lot of feedback from my fellow classmates and also teachers, as we were all working in like the same room for a very, very long time. We always just asked each other what we think of each other's work and really also kind of act on that feedback, which was a really positive experience for me. And although this project was a very long-lasting project, time management was also really important to this one. And I really learned how to manage my time a lot better during the course of this project. My last project is an outside project, and this is a very project that I hold dear to myself. I recently decided to start my own clothing brand called Stereo Apparel, and it kind of started off as a skill that I learned in the printing shop, which was screen printing. And I've just started printing on t-shirts and started selling them. And it's doing well, and this is really a project where some competencies really come in handy. For example, contextual awareness, where I really have to kind of look at the trends and look at what's in and just look at my surroundings and kind of see how can I put that onto clothing. And also just like I have to really be organized, make sure that everything's clean, everything is just well executed in terms of like orders and what size and materials and money. And this really just kind of is a combination of just all things that one would need to have to kind of start this kind of project. I really get to be my full self. I get to be creative. I get to come up with new things. I get to really work with other people as well. And I really get to just kind of be completely who I want to be and kind of start something from scratch and see where it goes. And yeah, it's just a really exciting project of mine. And yeah, thank you for listening.